All right, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I'm here with a band that has been on the show before, and like we were talking about just before we started recording here, I have no idea anymore what time period I interviewed people. I do enough of these shows, I think, and the past few years have been so chaotic that this could have been 4 years ago, it could have been last week, but it was apparently January 2023, which is pretty good. I mean, it's like a year, almost coming up on 2 years, I guess, year and a half, 2 years soon since you were last on the podcast. So I think the best way to start this off is if the four of you who are here want to introduce yourselves, what you do in the band, and then a little bit of background about the band for people who aren't familiar. Whoever wants to start.
Okay, well, I'm Jay. I'm singer. I play the acoustic guitar pretty much all the time. And geez, a little bit about the band. Well, Car 287. We were formed in Winnipeg. We're named after a certain address in Winnipeg. It's I guess if you're pretty sleuthy, you could probably figure it out. But it's 287 Carpathia Road is where we formed. So that's kind of where the name came from. And we always thought we would just be a kind of cover band. And here we are, putting out some new music. So it's been a bit of a journey, and it's come to it's been a pleasant ride, that's for sure.
Awesome.
I'm Travis Wog. I'm the I guess I do rhythm and lead guitar along with some backing vocals, and on occasionally I'll take the center stage and do a little bit of singing myself, but for the most part it's backing vocals. And yeah, nothing else more to add as far as the formation of the band. It started off as a cover band, turned into just recently into a recording band as early as say 2020, and it's been a good time.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Terry Ferguson. I'm the bass player and band manager.
Definitely band manager.
I do everything else. But it's been a lot of fun making this change to writing and recording original material. It's been a real interesting ride to sort of do that, and we got to work with Private Ear Studios, which we'll probably talk about in a little while here
for sure
on our album that'll be coming out. So I'll let Ryan introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm Ryan Olenek, and I play drums in the band, and I recently just joined in I think it was October, November last year. But I've known the guys. We played shows together when I played in my other band off Henderson, but I've known the guys for a while, and just got started with them 10 months ago or so, and yeah, having fun recording, writing songs, and yeah, playing new stuff. It's good.
Awesome. And who are we missing? Is this the whole band right now, or are there more members that aren't present today?
We just had a recent change.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, we just had a recent change. Our keyboardist has stepped away, and he's working with another band now. So we're a four-piece now.
Okay. Well, and I actually have some questions about that. I'm always interested when the band changes the lineup, especially if you lose a member, because the songs still exist, written in the sense that you need five people. But we'll get to that in a minute. When you reached out, Terry, about doing this again, having you back on the show, you mentioned that the songs are very hard to define, and there's kind of a lot of genre hopping. And in the examples you sent me before we did this, I definitely agree. I mean, one of the songs sounds almost folky. One of them is a ballad. One of them is really upbeat, almost kind of like a pop punk vibe. Like, you're all over the map. So, which is not a bad thing. But do you have a better grasp, I guess, on what kind of band this is at this point in your existence, or is it still too diverse to nail down?
Man, I would call it Canadian rock. I think that's a genre, to be honest with you. When someone says Canadian rock, they think of I don't know, probably Blue Rodeo, The Hip, kind of bands along those lines. And I feel we kind of fall somewhere around those lines as well. It's just we kind of write whatever sounds good to our ear, whether it's a blues song, whether it's a ballad, whether it's a pop punky song. There's I don't know if you heard that piano song already or not, but it's just we're kind of all over the place. And I think that's the fun part about the band. We just each bring a different genre, if you will, to the band. So we come up with all this. I don't think we'll ever have an album that sounds the same. There's always going to just be different stuff on every album, if I were to guess. Hopefully we get to do this again anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine that's organic, right? That's just a result of everyone having different influences and different backgrounds and different sounds.
Absolutely.
Well, and the one song we sent you, which is going to be released in another month, Road Rage Letty, we wrote that with Ryan, and his drumming just takes us to a different place, and it's really cool to see the different backgrounds in music coming together.
Well, maybe that's a good place to go about the drumming. I mean, if you're the newest member of the band here,
Hmm.
what did you think? What kind of band did you think they were before you joined? Like, did you have sort of a grasp on what style of music you were getting into, or was the sort of ambiguousness of it part of the appeal?
I did kind of in the. I've seen them play covers mainly. A couple shows that we played together, and then we had a show at the Pyramid a few years ago, and they were introducing a lot of their their new songs that they've written in that, and then a bunch of them caught my ear, and then it wasn't until Jay was sending me stuff, and they're looking for a change in drummer, so they sent me a few songs, and then immediately I got the songs in my ear, and I could think of things I could do with them, and what I could add to it. So it really kind of caught with me right away when I got those first few songs going, and then I was like, let's get together, let's play, and it just kind of flowed really naturally into playing together. So that's been pretty easy going getting into this band.
Is that sort of the point of view the rest of you have too? That it worked well. I mean, the switch on drums flowed pretty well. I mean, it seems like now you got all these songs recorded and stuff, but was it an easy transition?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think it elevated it certainly elevated the music. I mean, it just added a different flavor and a different feel, and definitely heavier. It added I don't know if you could say it other than just it added more juice
Okay,
to all the songs. It amped them up quite a bit, and that's the songs that I had written are the ones that were upbeat, like that were really blasted. So this really added a nice kick to everything we've done so far.
cool. And then the other
Kind of
lineup change. Were these songs all recorded with keyboard, or did that change happen before you started recording them?
The songs had yeah, the vast majority of the songs were written with keyboard in mind, and then the change happened after the recording. So
Okay.
Derek was there to record the whole time, and then he was just unable to continue with because he had too many family commitments and such.
For sure, yeah. So does that how does that change sort of going forward with the way the songs are arranged? Because I mean, you have one less person. Keyboard was a pretty strong element, as I recall, with your previous stuff. How do you sort of find a way to replace those parts, or change your own parts to sort of fill in the gaps that are left without having a keyboard there?
Well, in the last few practices, we've gone over pretty much all these songs in our catalog that have a strong influence of keys in it, and the songs still really resonate without the keys in them. Yeah, Trav probably has to take on a bit more filling that sound out because, like I said, I just play the acoustic, so it's more of a background type thing, just a little bit of fill. Maybe in the future we'll be looking to add maybe another guitar just to help fill in those sounds, so Trav doesn't have to wear all that stuff and take on like the lead and the rhythm and things like that, and maybe a little bit more keys for the songs that really where the keys stand out. It'd be nice to have those keys kind of back into it. So we're open to exploring adding that member to help fill out that sound as well.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
I can honestly say, like in our running these out the keys, all of them, we can do all of them and do a version of them that is pretty true to the original, and the keys just kind of add a little bit of pizzazz, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
With this recording, how long has this album been in the works? Like, I mean, I think that I can't remember last time we talked if we were talking if this was already sort of in the cards. But how long have you been working on this record?
Some songs go back a couple of years, so right to the beginning, actually.
Yeah, I
As
guess
far
so.
as specifically working towards this album, well, we did the 3-song mini I guess EP back in 2021, 22.
22, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2022. But through that whole time there, when we recorded those songs, we probably had another 4 or 5 at that time that we didn't get recorded. And yeah, we just kept on building the repertoire. So eventually we had this catalog that was starting to grow and we decided, yeah, at some point we're going to have to put this down onto. We're going to have to get into a studio and get this thing recorded, because we have I can't even tell you how many songs. Maybe we have 25 songs.
That's where I'd probably put it, mid-20s, somewhere like that. So it became kind of a bit harder to choose which songs should probably go on the record, to be honest with you. So that's a good thing for sure.
Yeah.
But all these songs, they go back like the guys were saying, right from the start of this band, and then there's some as recent, like Road Rage Letty is very new for us, and it just made it on the record as we just it was just a sound that we loved, and it was a lot of fun to play. And Ryan really kicks the crap out of those drums in that song, so it's just a good one. So yeah, Ryan's been a blessing for us for sure. He's like a human metronome, so I think he's made us all a better players just playing with him.
Is getting some of these older songs on record, is it part of just sort of being able to move on from them as well? Just the fact that you've had these songs sort of in the repertoire for years now, and is it kind of like now it's recorded, now you can go on to the next thing? Or I mean, I'm sure they'll still stay in your live sets and things like that, but is there a sense of now this is finally finished, this song, now that it's on tape and it's ready, it's going to come out?
There's certainly an element of that. There's especially one of the songs, "Things They'll Miss," which is a song that we'd always closed out all our sets with, but we had never had it down to recording. So it's very nice. It's great to have that one down. I don't think it's ever going to disappear from our set list. There may be a few in there that don't make it through, but I think for the most part, everything we have there is probably kind of our pride and joy, like our top songs. And it was hard to whittle those down. And but yeah, I think what we have there, we plan to play as much as possible. I hope it doesn't disappear from the lists.
Yeah.
And I would add that a lot of these are like babies for us, and we've finally been able to take something that we've created and put it down in a more permanent mode, so that it's not just heard when we're playing live. And the whole recording experience was really amazing this time around too, I found.
Well, maybe let's talk about that a bit then. So you said you went to Privateer to make this record?
Yes.
We did.
Yeah. So what was the experience like? Because that's different from your previous songs you had done, which was not the same situation at all, right?
We had a really good time at Ben's bedside with Len Milne.
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
That was our first time recording, and he basically he introduced us to the world of recording. Going to Privateer was just a choice, and we got to work with Derek Benjamin, and he was phenomenal for us. We clicked really well with him, and we ended up. We thought we might get anywhere from 4 to 8 songs recorded in a weekend, but we worked like dogs and we punched out 12. So
wow.
I think you can put a lot of the thanks to that actually to Ryan. As Jay was saying, he's like a human metronome. We didn't do a single click track to do any of that recording, and that can be a bit of a challenge. But like the guy said, Ryan kept time so perfectly through the entire recording that it became really easy to do the overdubs. Like he was like one take pretty much every shot, and then the rest of us had to fill out the parts.
not one take.
We did 3 at most.
It's still not bad though. It sounds like you banged them out pretty quick. 12 songs in a few days. That's pretty good. Being having been a cover band before this, and obviously prior to recording the other songs and then these ones now too, the live show was always the focus. Obviously, how do you feel like you were able to capture the energy of the live show on this upcoming release? Like, do you think you did it? And then how do you go about making sure you can get that kind of energy on a recorded version versus a live version?
Terry?
This thing we did is we recorded live off the floor.
That'll do it
as a band. And then dubbed in any parts we needed to after that. So I think that really helped us to capture our live sound. I don't know if you agree, Jay.
Yeah, like for me, it's weird. I think it did for sure. I was in a different booth altogether from those guys. But I was looking through the window and you could still feel them. Like we're playing these songs live and we're capturing all this live. So I think our favorite part about playing music is doing it for people and playing our own songs in front of people. So I think people, when they see all these and hear these songs, they're going to hear the exact same thing on the record as they will live, and probably actually even better live, just because I guess we get a little bit more jacked up when we actually have people come into the shows. And man, who knows, even though like maybe singing some of the songs, which
Yeah, that'd be cool,
which is
right?
always a nice treat. Yeah, for sure. So
Everybody's
yeah,
dream.
I think we've done a pretty good job capturing all these songs and how we've written them and how we play them live, to be honest with you.
Right on. And then how do
Just to
people hear
add-
this? I mean, oh, sorry, go ahead. You were gonna.
Yeah, just to add to the recording thing, like it was very relaxed going in there, and like we were very prepared. We practiced a bunch, and everybody had their parts down. It was just very relaxing, and every song just flowed off the instruments and that. And then we're okay. That was a take. We're done. It just. And we go back and listen to it, and like, wow, that sounds really good, and nothing's even mixed or anything yet, and it just was a great experience there.
That's a good one to have. Yeah, dude, that kind of positive response to it from you guys. I mean, to your project, right? If you guys listen back to it and like it, hopefully that means that other people are going to dig it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
What I was going to ask, sorry, I didn't mean to start jumping ahead there, but it's now early September. We're talking about this. Obviously, this is something that's coming out in future from the time we're recording this. What is the plan to release this? Do you have singles? I think you mentioned a single coming out first, and then when is the record going to be available?
This is Terry's department for sure.
Right, the manager, yes.
Well, so yeah, September 7th, our first single drops, and it's a bit of a different. I think I sent it to you. It's called Gateway to the West.
Yeah,
and it's Jay's love story to Winnipeg. Really is what it is. I don't know if you want to mention what.
Ontario, and out in Ontario, especially around the Toronto area, people poo-poo on Winnipeg just for coldness and mosquitoes and this and that. So when we started writing songs, essentially my wife was like, "Well, you should write a song about Winnipeg." And I was like, "I don't know, like that just sounds kind of too cheesy. I don't know if I want to do that." And I was just playing around with a melody I kind of came up with, and then she's like, "Oh, well, that's pretty good." And then I brought it to the guys, and here we are. Now it's recorded. It's going to be on the album. So yeah, it's pretty much just kind of things that people think about Winnipeg, and then I kind of tried to spin it around and like, hey, listen, like there's so much good here as well. So I think you'll hear that through the song. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it or not, Sam, but
I did. Yeah, that was the first one I listened to actually, and it was definitely well, I mean, compared to the one of the other ones on there, it was definitely a mellower vibe for sure. But it was still had that Canadian rock thing that you mentioned at the beginning. I think that is there even in the more acoustic sort of tone.
We
awesome.
couldn't have picked
That's
a better
perfect.
time to do it with it being the 150th anniversary of Winnipeg too.
That's right.
So-
Yeah. You got to find a way to tie that in. You got to somehow get the mayor on board and
Yeah, we
Try
got
to
to
do
get
this
this
whole
song
program.
out there for sure.
Working on it. But so the second single that's going to drop is called Road Rage Letty, and it's an interesting tune, really moves, and we probably will see that one drop the first week of October, and hopefully the album the second week of October.
Okay.
And now we haven't because we haven't got our the mixing and mastering isn't complete yet, but as soon as it is, a month later we'll be able to drop it. We'll be looking at putting together a album release party, which we'll be advertising on our social media. So very tight timeline.
That was sort of my next question: is there going to be a show? I'm assuming you want to do a show to sort of put this out properly, right?
Yeah, we haven't planned it because you can't really do that until you're ready to release, and you need at least a month to 6 weeks to get everything on streaming services and get CDs and vinyl pressed and all that. So
is that the plan? Like physical copies as well as streaming?
Well, you bet, and you'll get one of those vinyls because I've listened to quite a few of your podcasts, and you mentioned that you do like the physical media.
Yeah, I mentioned that I'm a Luddite who doesn't understand technology yet. But no, that's cool. I mean, is that something that you guys are also fans of, is having the physical records out?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah, especially with records kind of making a comeback, and they're very popular all of a sudden. So just to have something kind of physical you can look at, I miss that, like going through and seeing a CD booklet or whatever, or an album, and having all the words written out, and you can actually see what the artist is writing instead of getting someone's best guess on the internet of what the lyrics actually are. So everyone's going to be able to see all of our lyrics, and yeah, I just think it's pretty cool to have a physical copy and be able to see all those things.
Well, that's kind of it's also kind of a personal sort of achievement, right? The fact that you have this record now, rather than just a bunch of ones and zeros on the internet, you actually have this physical thing with your names on it and your music that hopefully can withstand longer test of time than some kind of digital thing floating around in the cloud, right?
Yeah, I hope you're right, for sure.
Or it could be the complete opposite, and I could be completely wrong, and my whole years of collecting records is just going to be accomplished nothing. But I'm hoping that I'm right.
Well, Sam, even if you're the only guy playing our record, I'll take it.
Right. Yeah. So, if people are hearing about you for the first time on this podcast, or if they already know who you are and want to find out more information, what's the best way to keep track of single releases, album release, upcoming shows, things like that?
Band manager.
They're always passing it off to me. So we are on Instagram, Car287 the band, and on Facebook, Car287. We're always going to be posting everything about where we're going to play on Facebook. We'll do events and stuff. Manitoba Music on the MB Music app will be on there if we are posting anything for any upcoming shows. And we also have our website, car287.com. And everything will be on there, including links to purchasing an album if you want.
Cool. And then do you have anything, obviously, like you said, a release show is sort of in the works, but do you have anything coming up in the near future as far as live shows other than that, or are you sort of saving it up for the eventual release show?
We have one show on but it's in Italy, so.
It's in Italy.
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to find out more. I need to hear. Didn't you do this last time I had you on the show too? Some kind of European
we're doing it again.
What's the story there? Because I forget, and that's kind of an unusual thing to do. Is the one show being in Italy?
We're just monsters in Italy. What can I tell you? Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, Jay.
No, I was going to more kick it off to Travis because he's the one who kind of like brought us into the world of this festival in the first place. So I was going to try and let him explain how this kind of came about.
So Jay and I are both air traffic controllers, and there was a controller that came through. It was an overseas controller and came through and told us about this festival that goes on by a bunch of controllers put on, I think, from Venice and from Brindisi, Italy. And they host this once a year, usually in September. Now it's getting pushed to October. And so Terry kind of jumped on it, and he ended up going and attending one, I think in 2022, just as a participant. And then we joined last year, the three of us as a band, and we had another drummer from a different band join us to play, and it was a blast. It's just a whole bunch of air traffic controllers from basically all over Europe, and there for some reason there's just this crazy musicality within the ATC world, and we had a blast. And we basically rocked this resort for 4 nights, and it was a blast. And this year it's going to be on a cruise ship, so we're going to have even a larger stage. It's a very large cruise ship. We're not the main stage, but we are a stage out of 2, and it's going to be fun. We just go for fun because it's great to meet other controllers and stuff too.
Well, it's a very specific niche that I don't think any other bands in Winnipeg are going to be able to fit, right? So that's cool. That's cool. Who would have thought that job had that kind of musical connection? That's really cool.
Well, Terry put on a thing called the NavCan Jam. Our company is Nav Canada, and he put on this jam just even for people in our region just to play music. And it was crazy the amount of musicians who came out and actually played that. People you wouldn't even know that they played an instrument. Now they're having full bands on this and taking up a whole night with this benefit show. It was awesome to see. But there's a lot more controllers and people are into music in this world than you think, I think.
Yeah.
I think
It's
that
an
goes for
element of
any
creativity.
profession too. I think everybody, there's so
Absolutely.
many people who just secretly have this musical talent that they either don't want to talk about because they're embarrassed or nervous, or they don't know about yet. And you just throw a guitar at them and something comes out. It's always pretty good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm excited that the record's coming out. It's cool. And I mean, the Italy thing is, it's so weird, but it's great. I mean, the fact that you can say, it's something on your resume, right? Not only
Yeah.
are you going to have a record on a vinyl, but you're playing a cruise ship, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
would never go on a cruise, but
Well, now you can. Now you have a reason to excuse
Yeah.
to, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.